Okay, we have a shawl. It's lacy shawl. Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So usually I post videos about knitting or crocheting. I have lots of pattern tutorials. I have stitch pattern tutorials. I talk about yarn projects, anything knit crochet related. I also do tutorials on Tunisian crochet, and today we are doing a crochet chat, as I like to call it, where I just sit here and I crochet. And I've done a couple of these now and I really enjoy them, where I just sit and crochet. And maybe I'll do a knit chat, but knitting's harder for me because I really have to focus when I'm knitting. So I don't know if I can talk and knit at the same time, but maybe I should try it one of these days. Usually I've been sitting in front of my desk. I'm in a new filming space, so I'm still trying to get used to it. And I feel like when I've been doing the crochet chats, you can't see me crochet the way the camera angle is. So I'm trying something new where I'm actually sitting. You can see I'm sitting in front of a door. I'm sitting on my floor, but not exactly. So I'm actually sitting on a stadium seat, which I gotta show it to you. It is like the Cadillac of stadium seats. I asked for one for Christmas, like I think it was 2 years ago, because my one child was in track and those bleachers get hard. Or they're cold or they're wet. So I asked for one of these and it's the best thing ever. So I'm sitting on that right now. So here she is. I love this thing. It's amazing. It actually has a cup holder. So this thing comes down and there's a cup holder. And then there's a little pouch that you can like put stuff in, and it's cushioned because a lot of these, and then it folds up. It's wonderful. Like one of the best Christmas presents ever. I just love it. It's great. So track season is now over. I've been filming these videos before track meet, and they are now, we just had our last meet a week ago, so the last video I did, and so no more track, which is a blessing. It was a rough season for the kids. There were some bright spots, but it was tough. So I think a lot of them, including my daughter, is glad it's over, and there's always next year. Hopefully it will be a better season for them next year. Maybe she might not be doing track next year. I don't know. My daughter, will see what happens. But so we're going to talk about some knitting, crocheting stuff, and just probably random stuff like I've been doing. First of all, I do want to thank everyone. Last week's video, I was just really having a very discouraging week with my channel. It's just, not getting seen. It's been frustrating, working hard and you're just not seeing any payoff. And, I'm still really not. But people that did watch were so nice and so encouraging. And I just really want to say thank you. And it really was nice. It really helped boost my spirits, helped me feel better. Want to try to keep trying, and I just really thank you for that encouragement. It was really needed. I wasn't really doing the video for that. I was just kind of venting in a way, as we all need to do from time to time. And I just thank everyone for just saying a nice, kind word. It really meant a lot to me. So today's video, that's my dog. He probably wants to come in, but he's not going to. Just talk about, like I said, some random things. I'm going to sit and crochet. I'm still working on this interesting sweater. I took a break because I was working on some other projects, which actually I will show you. I have them right next to me. So last week's video, I was working on this shawl, which I absolutely love. It needs to be blocked. And this shawl pattern should be coming out this Friday. Video pattern. I probably will do a written pattern for this as well. I just have to find the time to do that. I'm super busy. I'm always busy right now. And people always say that. They're so busy, but I kind of am. running my daughter everywhere with school because she did get her license, but she doesn't have a vehicle yet. So, and I need my car for things sometimes. So, you know, I'm often taking her, or I let her drive, and then I could take the car back. And so, hopefully, I can get a written pattern for this, and I'll probably get it tested. But I really love it. I mean, this yarn is definitely the star of the show with this one. I use Knit Picks Chroma, which you can still buy this yarn. I had gotten this from Goodwill, which was an amazing find. Like I said in previous videos, I've always wanted to use this yarn, and I just couldn't justify buying it. Like, it's not crazy expensive, but you know, I didn't really need it. So when I bought this like mystery bag of yarn at Goodwill, and I found 2 skeins of this buried at the bottom, like, that was such an exciting find for me. So I immediately was like, I have to make a shawl with this yarn, and here she is, and it's super pretty. Still trying to figure out a name for this guy. I have no idea. I'm so bad with naming my patterns. Like, I'm not good at that. My mom, she's so great at coming up with names. Like, she sews, makes quilts. She also crochets. And when she makes her quilts, she always names them. And the names she comes up with are always so creative or sweet or nice. And with me, I'm just like, okay, okay, we have a shawl. It's lacy shawl. I don't know, I'm so terrible. Once in a while I can come up with something clever or cute, but most times I'm just, I don't know, it's not my gift. Like, I can design it, but coming up with a catchy, cute name is really, it's not my gift. It really isn't. But you know, we'll see. You know, I'm thinking, oh, and this yarn is self-striping, so I'd be like, striped shawl, striped lacy shawl, like. But you could definitely make this in all one color. And with this pattern, you actually can make this as big as you would like or small as you would like. You could use a variety of yarns, hook sizes, so you can really make this your own. I used, this yarn is fingering weight yarn, and I used 2 balls of it because that's all I had. And I almost used all of it. There's just a tiny bit left, maybe to make, like, I'm thinking the rest of it I'll make like little hair accessories, because I can make little flowers or something just to use it up. But you could definitely use heavier weight yarn. I used a G hook or 4.25 millimeter hook. You could use thread weight yarn if you wanted to. If you wanted to use thread, you know, you could definitely, you know, I think it would be equally nice in whatever type yarn you would choose to use with this one. Solid color, you know, multicolor, it all works. So this one will be coming out on Friday. So something I had been working on kind of behind the scenes, I just wanted to see if I could make it. I actually think it's really cute. So I made a cardigan here, so you can see the cardigan. And this is actually, it's different colors, but this is the yarn. This was the colorway of the yarn. So I feel like it's a little unfortunate looking, but I do think the design is really cute. I was trying to, initially when I was doing this project, I was trying to make it in this other yarn I had, but I didn't have enough. So I was only able to get 1 sleeve done. Like, I had made the body of the sweater, and then it came time for the sleeves, and you need 2 of them. And I only had enough yarn to make 1 sleeve. So I had to start over, and I had this, I think it's a Lion brand yarn, and I like the yarn, but not really for this project. But this was kind of, like I said, a prototype. I often will make patterns. If I'm going to make a pattern, I'll make a prototype first, and I'll use yarn that's maybe, you know, not my favorite or whatever, or more inexpensive yarn to come up with that. So I don't know if this is Lion brand mandala yarn, or I know it's Lion brand for sure, but I'm not. Lion brand makes a whole bunch of different yarns. And it's actually really soft. It's nice yarn. It's cozy. It is acrylic, and it's DK weight, and I think I used a J hook. But my thought was this pattern was to make a sweater to fit any size. So I might make a pattern. I kind of measured off myself. I think I actually used an existing sweater I had and just kind of used those measurements because I knew kind of how I wanted it to look. So I actually think it's really cute. I do like it. I just don't love this yarn, but this will be something I'll wear probably around the house. Maybe I'll wear it in public, I don't know. And because I do like colorful things, but I feel like it's kind of mismatched. Like it's not, I like things symmetrical, so if the stripes were more even, like, then I think I would like it more to feel comfortable wearing it in public, but because it's like the color placements, I feel like it's very random. So it's just, I don't know, maybe I'll wear it to my knit crochet group just to show them I made a sweater. I don't know. But I do think I'll make another one because I do really like the design. It would definitely, it fits really well. It's very comfortable to wear. I love cardigans. I'm like obsessed with, I'm wearing a cardigan right now. Yeah. Again, Pennsylvania weather, it was a couple days ago, it was 85, and then over the weekend we just had Mother's Day. So all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. And it was really chilly. It was like cold. I had packed away all my winter clothes, and I even packed away my heavy blankets, and I had to unpack some of those this past weekend because it was cold. But I didn't put the heat on. I turned the heat off probably a week or so ago, because we had to put the AC on because it was actually really hot. And then Pennsylvania did Pennsylvania and got cold again, but I was like, nope, not putting the heat on. We're just gonna bundle up. And so yeah, I had to dig out the heavy blanket because I was freezing the one night. But I think it's gonna get warm again later in the week. I don't know. It's so crazy right now. So yeah, that was a sweater I just finished recently. And the next things I'll show you, I made these hats. I did put this up on the channel. I actually really like them. They're beach hats, and they're super easy to make. So if you want more of a beginner-friendly project, this one I still need to weave in the ends there. For some reason, it reminds me of McDonald's. I don't know why. I guess the colors, but I think it's really cute, and I'm nice to wear at the beach because it does have like airflow here, but the crown is a solid so that it can protect your scalp from the sun, which I will be wearing this at the beach. I personally think I look silly in hats. I don't think I look cute in hats at all, but I find when I go to the beach, it's necessary because my hair tends to, especially back here, it parts really strangely, and I've gotten some not great burns on the top of my head. Like, you know, that hurts, and then it peels and you look like you have dandruff. And so since I've gotten older and hopefully just a little wiser, I've been wearing some hats at the beach to protect my scalp. And so I made that one, and I made another one. This one I like a little bit more. It's more my style as far as the colors. Like, I actually really love like off-white. I don't know if it really looks good on me, but I just like it. I think it's nice. And I love this blue. I wanted to make this all solid blue, but I really only had a tiny bit of blue left, and I was playing yarn chicken and I was losing. So I thought, well, let's make a stripe, and I think that actually turned out really pretty. So you can see with these hats, you can definitely play around with colors. Originally, I was going to make this one all in this like pinky orange color, but I didn't have enough of that. So I had this like, it's like almost like a yellow orange. The yellow has like very like orangey warm undertones, I guess. So I thought, well, let's make some stripes, and I actually think it's pretty cute. And then I did want this to be a solid color, but you know, if you only had little bits of yarn, you could definitely do like every round a different color if you wanted to. I mean, you could definitely have fun, or you could do it all in one color, or you know, like this guy, or even have the band all like everything one color. Because of the texture, I still think it would show up really nicely. So, and then this one was made with DK weight, and this one was made with worsted. So you can see the difference. This one is slightly bigger than the white one, you know, so for sizing and all that. And I used an eye hook for both of these. So those are my recent projects that I've made. And again, I'm trying to finish this prototype sweater. that was inspired by something I saw on AI. I keep talking about it and you're probably like, you've got nothing done. It looks the same every week. And yeah, it's kind of one of those projects that I work on a little bit and then I let it sit, which I think a lot of us do that. If we're really avid knitters and crocheters, we'll have these projects that, you know, we kind of work on for a time and then we set them aside and pick up another project and then we pick it up again, and like it's just one of those that just takes forever to get done, or we'll just decide I'm never gonna finish this. So yeah, this one, but I do intend to, I really want to finish it. I'm almost done. This is the back of it. So the front of it is, here it is. So this is the front. So I'm almost done the back, and then I'm gonna probably just slip stitch the shoulders and then figure out something with the sleeves, and we'll go from there. And we'll see if my idea is going to pan out and then it will actually be a real pattern. I don't know, because sometimes when I do these prototypes, they don't always work out, and then we have a fail situation. But you know, that's how you learn, that's how you figure out if something is going to work or not. So you know, that's how it goes with making patterns. It doesn't always work out the first time. Right now I'm working on another bucket hat. I've really been having fun with the bucket hat type things, like the summer hats. I think because sometimes when you are working on a project like this that takes a while, or you're still kind of working the bugs out, especially for if you're a designer, and some designs like almost make themselves. Like the shawl, to me, really, I feel like I had a stitch pattern in mind and I had to play around with it a little bit, but then it just kind of went, like it just went really smoothly. But then there's other projects where it's like you're stopping and starting and taking apart, and you know, they just don't go as smoothly. So that can be a little discouraging. So then you need those like more instant gratification projects that work up really quickly, like these hats. Now I did design these hats too, but I mean, they pretty much designed themselves. I guess the worst trouble I had was maybe the crown. Just kind of, it was basically, I knew which stitch pattern I wanted to use. So this is the classic granny stitch, but instead of using double crochet, it's using half double crochet. And you need to like figure out the math. So that was probably the hardest thing with this, was figuring out the math for this so that the granny stitch would work out math-wise. So, you know, I made this in a couple hours. I mean, I made it in one day, and if I make another one, now that I have the pattern, it'll work up even faster. So those things, those projects are nice. And I do encourage you, like, if you're working on those long-term projects and you feel like I'm never going to get this done and you just get a little discouraged, pick up a fast project, something like this that you can finish. Especially if you're a really skilled crocheter or knitter, you can finish in a day or two, and then it just kind of gives you that little encouragement to keep going and be like, okay, I'm going to pick up that project and I'm going to, you know, plow through it and try to finish it. I mean, that works for me as far as, you know, encouraging myself to keep going with those really long projects. Like this one, I mean, sweaters aren't, I feel like a blanket might take longer, but, well, if it's knitting a sweater, that takes me forever. I'm just the slowest knitter. I consider myself like a turtle when I'm knitting. I would like to be faster. I love watching videos of people that are just really fast knitters, and I know there's like people will be like, well, you have to learn how to knit continental, which I can, but I can't purl continental. Well, okay, that's a lie. I can purl continental, knitting continental, but I'm slower at it than throwing. Like there's so I'm taking apart a project to use this yarn, my recycling. So when I knit, I can do the knit stitch with Continental. So what that means is you, with throwing, it's when you see them like taking the yarn and to work the knitting. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Where Continental, you have it like kind of with crochet in your other hand, and you manipulate the yarn that way. And everybody says, well, if you're a crocheter and you want to knit, then you need to learn Continental because, you know, you're already kind of used to holding the yarn in your left hand, and I get that, but for purling, like, it just doesn't compute. So sometimes I'll in the same project I will knit Continental and throw all in the same project, because I can knit Continental and then throw with purling, you know. So I guess someone that's a very prolific knitter would be completely cringing at my technique, but hey, you know, it works for me. And as I always say, there's no knitting or crochet police, you just do what works for you. And as long as, like I would say, as long as the finished product looks pretty good, then, you know, who cares? Like, who cares if you're throwing or using Continental? And same with crocheting, like, there's different types of holds with the hook. Like, I guess I'm more like a knife hold, but then some people like to hold theirs like a pencil, which does not work for me. Some people I've seen kind of like hold it like this. So, you know, as long as it's getting the job done and your stitches are good and your tension is good, who cares? Sorry, I had to pause there. My son-in-law was calling me because my daughter got married a couple months ago, and they still use my house as their personal post office. They're worried about Porch Pirates, even though they live in a really nice apartment complex, but they still have things delivered to my house. So he was calling me to tell me that he had some packages on my porch and he wanted me to bring them in, because I don't know what's in them, but I was like, okay. So yeah, but yeah, we're back, and I was just talking about there's no knitting or crocheting police. However you like to hold your hooks, hold your yarn, hold your needles, and it works for you, you know, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, you know, don't let someone say, oh, you're doing it wrong. Now, if you're finding that the way that you're doing something is, you know, kind of feels awkward and you wanted to try a different technique, like, absolutely go for it. You know, you might find a different technique just, you know, works better for you, and you're just happier with, you know, how your knitting or crocheting is going. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I definitely like to play around with different techniques, especially with knitting, because I'm always trying to figure out, you know, how to make it go a little more quickly for me, or just so I feel a little more secure with my knitting. But yeah, with crocheting, I've been doing it like this for ever. I've been crocheting since, I think I started learning, like seriously crocheting, in 1996. So that's a long time ago. So that was that 28 years ago? So quite a while that I've been doing this. And it was just something that I actually learned from a book. My husband, he started working weekends, and we were really poor. Like, we had no money, and so there, you know, on weekends he was working, and he'd work really late at night, and I couldn't afford to go out or do anything, so I just stayed home. We didn't have cable TV or anything like that. I remember, like, one of the only shows that was on in the weekends was Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris, if you remember that show. And so I would watch that, and I decided, you know what, I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. I tried when I was a kid, and I could make the chain, but like I couldn't make anything beyond that. So, but it was just something that I always wanted to learn. So when he started working that job, I thought, you know, I'm gonna learn to crochet. And we had a Walmart that had just opened up, and I remember I went to Walmart to look to, because I thought, well, I don't think it's that expensive, and they actually had so much of their like knitting, crocheting stuff like super cheap. Like they were giving it away practically. So I was able to get like a book. He's mad, my dog. Hey buddy, you're not allowed to come in. I was able to get a book. I remember I got this hook came in that. It was like in this plastic pack of hooks, and you could like open it up and close it. The plastic eventually wore out, and it was a set of boy hooks, and I love them to this day. They're my favorites. Hey, no. I think somebody wants to eat dinner soon, so I'll have to go feed him. Yeah, you getting hungry? You getting hungry? Yeah. So yeah, I got the book, the hooks, and yeah, he has something to say. and yarn, and that's how I learned. All right, I'm gonna go feed my dog, and then I will be back. Okay, dog is eating now, and then I'll have to take him out in a little bit. It's like having a kid. When we got our dog, I was like, didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, because these were pretty much first time dog owners. I had dogs growing up, but you know, you're a kid, and we lived on a farm, and the dogs were outside. I mean, we had shelters for our dogs and stuff, but you know, my parents took care of the dogs. We just played with them. So when you're getting a dog, it's like having another child. I always say when, you know, when your kids are little, you're always wiping something, you know, behinds, noses, messes, faces. And with the dog, it's like, again, I'm back to wiping. So with cleaning up, it's so funny. But he's a good boy. We got him after my husband died, as basically for my kids. I got the dog. Of course, now one has moved out, so maybe I got the dog for myself. But yeah, he's definitely most times been a blessing. You know, he's a bit high maintenance, but it really did help us out. It helped us, I think, to grow closer together as a family, because I did tell them, you know, I'm not getting this dog, and I'm doing all the work, you know. So we all take turns with the dog. So he's our dog, and help with training, and you know, everyone's on the same page with, you know, what's to be expected and things like that. And you know, he's a pretty decent dog. I mean, he's a husky mix, and he's a husky, does husky things, but he's actually a pretty good dog. I know they usually say don't get a husky as your first dog, you know, but what do we do? What do we get? But for the most part, you know, he's really been a blessing, and you know, he definitely is a lot more maintenance, I think, than maybe, let's say, a golden retriever or something like that. But because he's pretty much our first dog, we don't know any different. You know, we're used to, you know, his craziness. So if we see a dog that's like super calm or not pulling on the leash, because you know, sometimes he walks amazing, and then other times, you know, he's dragging you down the street, and of course he's very he has a huge prey drive, which is pretty normal for those dogs. And some people are like, oh, you need to get an e-collar for him, and we have done some training. You know, he went to puppy kindergarten, and you know, had a trainer, but you know, they kind of have a mind of their own, and sometimes, you know, he'll want to do it, and then other times he's like, no, not today. So, and an e-collar, we did get one, but he didn't even care. And maybe we weren't trying it hard enough. I don't know, but like, we would zap him for things, you know, when he was misbehaving. He did not care. It didn't faze him. So I'm like, well, this isn't working. And I know there's controversies on all that stuff too, so please don't come at me if you're, you know, against e-collars or whatever. We currently are not using one for him because it just wasn't doing anything. So yeah, But that's our crazy dog. So I'm probably gonna get off here soon, but I just wanted to share. I was, I'm still trying to crack the YouTube code, as I was saying, trying to figure out that secret sauce. So I might be ending. I was doing Tunisian Tuesday, which features either a Tunisian crochet project or a stitch, and I do like doing that. I enjoy it, but it's just like not getting any views, like, and if something's just not working, then might need to stop it. I'm not sure, maybe I'll keep doing it and add something else with I try to post 3 times a week, but maybe I'll try to post more, and I'm trying to do more shorts, so I'm not sure. But something I was thinking of doing is, when I did post the video about getting discouraged, there were other people in the crafting world that also, a lot of us are struggling. We just are, it's, my dog's arguing because I left him downstairs and he's gonna need to go out, but he can hang in for a second, he'll be okay. A lot of us are struggling on this platform. It's not easy to kind of, get that breakthrough. So one of the things I was thinking about doing is maybe kind of doing a YouTube spotlight, like spotlighting a channel that isn't, it's kind of like mine, that, we're on the struggle bus right now. And maybe seeing if I could work one of their patterns, because it is really fun to, see what other people are up to, see what they're making. I love seeing creativity and, seeing if I can make one of their patterns. So maybe that's something that I will try to do, because, it would be nice to just not have to think of making my own patterns. I love creating patterns, but, sometimes you can get a little burned out, or you just, the creative juices are just not flowing. So it might be nice to just, make someone else's pattern for a change, and just do a little spotlight for them to help maybe drive some traffic over there, maybe help each other out. So that's something that I was thinking about doing. And stay tuned for that, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how to go about filming that, because I don't know how to do. I guess it would be kind of like those reaction videos where you have the YouTuber, and then you have like the little other video in the corner. I have no idea how to do that. I don't know if I have the program for that, I guess. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Maybe I was thinking too of, I'll be sitting in front of the camera and have my computer next to me, so that I can kind of like watch what they're doing and then do it on the camera and just comment on it, and you can see how it's going. It's not like to critique. I mean, I'm sure I'll just say if I really enjoyed the project, or maybe there's something that is too hard for me or something like that. It's always good to be challenged, so I think that would be something that I'm thinking about doing. I think it would be fun actually to do. So let me know if you think that's something you'd be interested in seeing. And so I'll just keep plugging away. I'm just gonna keep trying and see if I can crack the code here with this whole YouTube platform. I mean, it's tough. It really is. It's tough to get seen and to get your stuff noticed, and and also to like keep up with trends. I've never been big on trends. I just because trends come and go. They just do. So, and it's so hard to always kind of keep up with all that. So either with clothing or makeup or hair or any of that stuff, and even with the craft world. So I just try to like not focus on that too much. I mean, if there's stuff that people really aren't interested in making, then I won't do. But I don't know if you can hear him fussing down there. But yeah, those are some things that I am thinking about, and we'll just keep going. So I'm gonna go, because I'm gonna need to deal with my crazy doggo, because he's protesting. I think he's also feeling lonely too, because my other daughter is ignoring him because she was annoyed at him because he was in her room and he was trying to chew on her clothing. something that she just bought too, so she wasn't very appreciative of that. I think he thought maybe it's for me and I can have it, but no, it was for her. So she shooed him out of her room. And my son is not home, so he's at work, so I think he's feeling a little lonely, and so I need to give him a little attention. But hopefully next video I will actually be working on sleeves. Maybe it'll be done. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll be working on a different project. I'm sure you're getting tired of seeing this. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!